Hey everyone, it's Nathan King. Today I want to talk about something I get asked all the time: how long it actually takes to sell a house. From the moment you list to the moment it closes. A lot of people think it's super quick process or that once you put it on the market, it just sells automatically. That's not usually the case, especially here in the Central Valley. Before we dive in, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe if you haven't yet. We post regular videos with real life local insights about buying and selling in Fresno and Clovis and the surrounding areas. You don't want to miss this stuff because it really helps take the stress out of the process. Timing really depends on the market. If it's a hot market and homes are flying off the shelves, your house will probably sell faster. If the market's slower or interest rates are high, it can take longer. Here in Fresno and Clovis, it's really local. Some neighborhoods move faster than others. For example, homes in popular school districts like Clovis North or Buchanan can sell almost immediately, while properties in other areas might take longer. Luxury homes often sit a bit longer because there are fewer buyers for those type of properties. And if you've got a very big home or something very unique, that's something to keep in mind too. Basically, your type of property really impacts the timeline. Here's the thing. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people waiting too long to start planning. I had a client a few months ago in Northwest Fresno who thought, we'll just list next month. Well, when we looked at their home, it needed a few updates that would take a few weeks to complete. And we realized that if we rushed, we could have missed the best buyer window. We ended up scheduling the updates, doing some quick staging, and they ended up with multiple offers within 10 days of going live. That's why I always tell people, start talking to an agent at least a year before you want to make a move. Sometimes even 2 or 3 years if you've got bigger projects in mind, like a kitchen remodel or major updates. You'd be surprised how many people wait until a few months before their move and then realize there's a lot they didn't plan for. Repairs, staging, or even just figuring out what they're doing with all their stuff. Talking to an agent early can save you a ton of headaches. Things like timing the market, understanding your home's value, or knowing what updates are worth doing versus what's just nice to have. Once you've chosen an agent and signed the listing agreement, your house isn't magically on the market the next day. Typically, it takes a few days to a week or two to get everything ready. Photos, MLS input, descriptions, maybe staging if needed. We also use something called a private listing network, which lets other agents see your home before it officially hits the market. It's a way of getting early feedback and generate some initial interest. And here's something people don't always realize. Your agent won't usually give you detailed advice or vendor recommendations until that agreement is signed. So signing that paperwork is the first step. Then the prep begins. Pricing is huge. Seriously, it can make or break how quickly your home sells. I remember a home in Clovis that was priced a little too high. It was a beautiful house, fully updated, but the price was just above what the market would bear at that time. We had a few showings, but no offers for the first 2 weeks. Once we adjusted the price slightly, we had 3 offers in the first weekend. The market basically tells you what works and what doesn't. I usually tell my clients, if within the first 2 weeks you had very few showings, the price is probably too high. If you've had a bunch of showings but no offers, your price still might be too high. Timing your listing also matters. Thursdays are a great day to go live because your listing hits buyers' inboxes right before the weekend, giving them time to schedule a showing. If everything's priced right and your home is in good shape, you can usually expect to be under contract within 2 to 4 weeks. After that, inspections usually take about a week or two, and then you negotiate any repairs, items, or credits with the buyers. Here's the thing. Most buyers don't go through inspections just for fun. They're serious. Once inspections and negotiations are complete, they're committed. So you can usually count on that sale to move forward unless something unusual comes up like financing issues. From going live to closing, most sellers in the Central Valley are looking at roughly 2 to 3 months. That includes getting under contract, inspections, and letting the buyer finalize their mortgage. If the buyer needs a mortgage, technically they have a contingency period where they could back out, usually a few days before closing. But in my experience, once they've gone through the inspections and negotiations, most buyers are all in. Now, sometimes sellers need a rent back, where you close on the house but stay in possession of it for a short period of time while you move to your next place. But in competitive markets, buyers sometimes agree to it as part of their offer. You'll probably pay for prorated rent covering principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and it's typically no longer than 2 months. Longer than that, and the lender might treat it as an investment property, which changes the type of loan. Here's something else I like to tell sellers. Don't assume it's going to be instant. Some homes move fast, some take a little longer. I had a family in southeast Fresno who listed a home in January thinking it would sell in a couple of weeks. It sat on the market for a month during the slower winter season. We adjusted some things, staged it differently, priced it right, and by March, it sold above asking price. You've got to be patient, and you've got to work with the market, not against it. Plan for weekends. You'll probably need to be flexible with showings. Don't over-improve. Spend on updates that actually add value, not things you think look nice. And remember, your agent is your guide. Listen to their advice and timing and pricing. You know, a lot of people get frustrated thinking their house should sell faster than it does. But the truth is, with the right prep and the right pricing, things usually move smoother than you expect. So basically, here's what you can expect. A few days to 2 weeks to prep after signing the listing agreement, 2 to 4 weeks on the market to get under contract, 1 to 2 weeks for inspections and negotiations, and 30 to 45 days to close. All told, that's roughly 2 to 3 months from listing to closing. Could be a little more, could be a little less, depending on your home, market, and buyers. The key takeaway, plan early, price right, and work closely with someone who knows the local market. Do that, and you'll take a lot of stress out of the process. If this helped, shoot me a text or an email. I can assist in mapping out your selling timeline, give you a home value estimate, and walk you through all the steps here in California. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. I'm Nathan King, your local real estate guide for life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.